From the ashes of humble beginnings, rise the sense of regeneration, signaling the dawn of a new age. The foundations of the old and antiquated, now demolished, and in its place the newly built pillars of fearlessness and opportunity. Dreams are clearer, expectations are set higher, and the quest for championship gold is even stronger than it's ever been before. At one time or another, everything goes through a period of evolution. The world of wrestling is no different. Welcome to a new age. Welcome to a new era. Welcome to a new FWE.
Inside of the Fantasy Dome, we welcome you here tonight to the episode of Saturday Night Smash, just off the heels of the Fantasia PLE, now on the road to Kingdom Jewel. I'm Seth Call alongside of Jack Mitchell, and Jack, of course, we got that little detour coming up here Sunday night at Springfield, but now, after the fallout of Fantasia, we've got ourselves a brand new Universal Heavyweight Champion.
That we do. We're going to see Cole Eastwood make his entrance here in just a few moments here on the side of the Fantasy Dome. He's going to be debuting that new Universal Heavyweight Championship for the first time. Looking forward to seeing what he does with that belt.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring, representing the Rockers from Virginia, weighing in at 160 pounds, the Universal Heavyweight Champion, Cole Eastwood.
Well, for quite a number of weeks, just prior to the FWE draft, that belt lay vacant. But this past Sunday night, in a fatal four-way, Cole Eastwood would claim his first singles title of his career, now the new heavyweight champion, and it's going to be interesting to see who we end up having as potential number one contenders. This could very well be one of them.
It could be. Kratos has all kinds of momentum in his corner as well after what happened back at the Fantasia PLE. He and Thanos took each other to the absolute limit in what was an underground street fight that saw Kratos come out on top, maybe to the shock of some people, kind of prove himself as potentially the bigger man here on Saturday Night Smash. And now he's going to have a non-title match against the world champion on this brand.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that. I mean, obviously, I think we know what he would say if we asked him, but did that ability to topple one of the titans of this industry, did that potentially make Kratos the official giant of Saturday nights?
It very well could have, but I will say this, neither of them have held a title just yet. You know, Thanos has been here since the beginning. He hasn't held any kind of belts yet, and maybe he hasn't cared about that until now, but that might change here with Kratos.
Talk about his momentum. What a daunting task here for Cole Eastwood, just a few days removed from winning that fatal four-way, now has to take on Kratos in one-on-one action. As you said, though, non-title, but you know, if Kratos ends up pinning the Universal Heavyweight Champion here tonight, could make a very quick case for himself to have a shot at that title.
Very well could be the case, and let's not forget that Cole Eastwood, he can take on the bigger men. He was able to take on people like Thor in that fatal four-way matchup that saw him win the belt for the first time.
Cole Eastwood, obviously, as we mentioned, first time that he's held singles gold, but a very storied career here in FWE is after that standing moonsault goes in for an early cover on Kratos, who will power out at 1, but of course a former holder of the tag team titles back with Anthony McCrory, his Rockers teammate. That was back when they were a member of the family. Also, I think an accolade that not a lot of people remember is he ended up scoring the pinfall for the family when they took part in the very first Men's Infinity War Games match.
And that's a great accolade to have, is the fact that you were the one to get that winning pinfall. So we're going to have that in the back of their minds here as Cole looks to try and defend this belt going forward.
Big kick to the back there. Cole Eastwood now perched up top. Brings that high-flying offense to the table with his tag team partner, Anthony McCrory there. And now putting it to work here against the bigger man. In terms of size and stature, pretty much, aside from Peter Pan, Cole Eastwood kind of went in as the smaller individual, but was able to kind of sneakily pick his spot, which is exactly what you need to do in a Fatal 4-Way.
It absolutely is, and we saw Peter Pan kind of nearly do the same thing during that Fatal 4-Way matchup. He had an opportunity to sneak in the pinfall, and he very nearly stole the title right then and there. Got the adjustment as well with Cole Eastwood, because you mentioned the history he's had with his tag team partner, Anthony McCrory. Cole kind of having to adjust to the singles competition now.
Yeah, kind of having to strike out on his own, if you will. I mean, even but prior to having Anthony as a tag team partner, we mentioned about him having his back covered by the members of the family in the early days of FWE. So how does that, in a way, affect you when you know that you don't necessarily have that backup immediately at the ready? You know that you're going to have to go it completely alone.
Kind of have to just adjust your stamina, maybe pace yourself a little bit in the matchup, knowing that, you know, one move or something like that might not put your competitor away that quickly. So you're going to want to make sure that you adjust properly to the stamina.
Referee more than halfway to a 10 count here. Both combatants on the outside of the ring, and now Kratos will go back inside of the ring here, potentially looking for a count out on the Universal Heavyweight Champion. Referee at a count of 9, and Eastwood will get back in at maybe like 9.5.
Got back in, and then met that attack there by Kratos.
Oh, man! Big man from the second rope misses with the splash. Eastwood avoids near disaster. Now he heads to the outside. Springboard off the ropes. Hits the Hurricane Rana.
Second time he's hit that. This one's going to go for the cover. He's pretty close to the ropes, though.
See him trying to get that right arm of Kratos away from the ropes, potentially to break that up. A kick out at 2 makes it a moot point here, and now working on the arm. We know, of course, Kratos, and we saw in his battle with Thanos, they rely a lot on the power and strength, the power bombs, the choke slams. So Eastwood trying to take away that possibility, targeting the upper extremities.
I think I will say, too, when you have to adjust to the singles game, is that attack kind of got sidestepped there by Kratos. You only have the one other person in the matchup to focus on. You don't necessarily have to worry about, oh, big slam. You don't have to necessarily worry about what your tag team partner is going to be up to on the side of the ring or anything like that. You can just focus on your opponent.
Kratos for a moment there off that slam had the advantage. Eastwood, couple of well-placed elbows to the midsection, fights back, but now, oh my goodness! Maybe one of the biggest German suplexes he's been on the receiving end of.
Kratos, though, tried for a leg drop, didn't connect.
Forearm shot there to Kratos. Now has him draped over that middle rope and will hit almost a modified stunner there. Again, Kratos falls to the outside. Look out!
Look out!
Flying senton comes up empty for the champ.
Like Cole was maybe trying to continue that momentum, but just happened right as Kratos is getting back up to his feet. He's able to sidestep it. Oh, big clothesline.
Even after that faulty senton on the outside, Eastwood firing back. Couple of clotheslines, sweeps the leg, and now gonna go back up top. Going for high risk. Can he score high reward?
And then look at what he's trying to do here. Nice arm drag. I thought he was maybe going to go for one of those Hurricane Ranas.
It's the diving senton onto the midsection of Kratos and a kick out at 1.
This late in the matchup, a kick out at 1 is not what you want to see if you're the champion right now.
Again, going that high offense. Again, going with the Hurricane Rana, continuing to make sure that Kratos does not have that vertical base. And now, there it is! The rock and roller, the SOS, if you will. Cover is in. Oh, and Kratos slipped out at 2.
Again, the frustration must be setting in now for Cole Eastwood. You know that you've taken your best shot in this matchup this late, and it wasn't enough to put Kratos away.
We've seen both of the brand new champions on the respective brands kind of get put through the ringer in the early going. We saw this past Thursday night. Jasmine had to put the Iron Queen Championship on the line against Moana. It was successful. Cole Eastwood having to go up against the huge momentum that Kratos has brought in. That massive clothesline drops the champion and almost got a 3.
Trying to fight back a little bit. Oh, maybe trying to go for a roll-up there and didn't connect.
Kratos was able to fight out of it. Oh, gracious!
Oh, my.
Does Eastwood have any teeth left after that massive uppercut? And that's going to be enough for Kratos to keep the momentum train rolling. A pinfall over the new champ.
Here is your winner,
Again, his hand raised by the official there. I mean, if you're Kratos, you got to figure this definitely puts him in the conversation for being the first #1 contender for Cole Eastwood. And if you're Cole Eastwood, frustration's really got to be there. Your first matchup with a belt, you get pinned.
Frustration, maybe trepidation as well. Just moments, a few days after you earn the title, you suffer a pinfall loss and may have to face this man again with the title hanging in the balance. And up next, you talk about rivalries. It's been crazy here in the men's tag team division as of late.
Absolutely has. The Republic and the Family are going to go at it as we try to figure out potential new #1 contenders for the tag team titles. That's coming up after the break.
Welcome to Kingdom Jewel, where the broken become brave. Every scar is a shining proof. Every doubt gets thrown away. When the bell hits 3 and the night turns cruel, we still stand in the center. We still shine. Kingdom Jewel. Kingdom Jewel. Kingdom Jewel.
Well, we are certainly looking forward to our next upcoming PLE at Kingdom Jewel, where we will see the respective world champions of Thursday and Saturday nights taking each other on for bragging rights. But we now have the tag team champions gracing the Fantasy Dome. Let's be honest here.
is a tag team match set for 1 fall. On the way to the ring, at a combined weight of 371 pounds, the men's tag team champions, and Family.
Not wanting to interrupt our ring announcer Mike Rome there, but let's be honest, with the amount of time and the amount of title defenses we have seen Ed and Eddie of the Family put those titles on the line in, this past Sunday night, Fantasia maybe was the biggest challenge for them. The odds were stacked against them with both the Thrill Seekers and the Gotham Inmates, and somehow they still managed to get away with the gold.
I think it just goes to show you how impressive of a victory that is when you're able to overcome the odds like that, as you mentioned, and still retain. But it's also crazy to think about the run that these guys are on. Again, I don't think we ever would have mentioned Ed or Eddie in this kind of conversation before they joined the Family. So it really goes to show you the elevation that they've been on since.
125 days officially tonight as tag team champions.
And their opponents, at a combined weight of 456 pounds, and the Republic.
We mentioned information, of course, about the current champions, the Thrill Seekers, the Gotham Inmates, but the Republic, Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, they now kind of want to throw their names into the ring here to potentially claim those titles.
Yeah, you can see Anakin kind of doing the belt motion right there. He wants to try to get a shot at the tag team gold there, and you know, this team is kind of working through some inner frustrations, I guess you could say. We saw that segment between the two of them a little while ago where Anakin and Obi-Wan were a little bit frustrated with Obi-Wan tapping out to Joker right when Anakin was right in front of him.
Anakin was also involved in one of those fatal four-way qualifiers to try and fight for the Universal Heavyweight Championship and came up short in that. So as you say, a little bit of a pent-up frustration. They appear to, from what we last saw, be on the same page. We'll have to see if that helps them here to pick up a victory against the tag champs. Of course, this a non-title matchup here, but much like we saw just moments ago with Kratos picking up a win over the Universal Heavyweight Champion, a pinfall victory here for the Republic could help their chances of getting a future title shot against the family.
Very well could be. And I mean, oh, hold on. Hey, Anakin with a bit of a roll up there. How about that submission reversal?
Reversed by Ed. And a kick out there. Nice reversal first off there by Anakin to get out of that Boston Crab. Not that easy to get out of that submission first off and then transition it into a cover.
And that reversal, one of those reversals was awful close to the ropes there, but they were able to kick out and keep this matchup going.
Sidewalk slam there by Ed, the powerhouse of the team. He'll now make the tag in to Eddie, who ended up actually getting the pinfall victory in that triple threat match this past Sunday night at Fantasia to retain them the tag team titles.
Eddie going to be showing off a little bit of strength right
here. Did I just call Ed the powerhouse? I might need to change that statement.
I mean, if they're both powerhouses, that just makes them even more fearsome.
Elbow drop there. Of course, the family quite successful this past Sunday night. Not only did Ed and Eddie retain the tag team titles, but Matt McIntyre now on his second reign with the United States Championship, winning the belt back from Wonder Woman inside of a steel cage with absolutely no help from outside interference.
That was the stipulation that Wonder Woman wanted. She wanted to make absolutely certain that none of the family members would get involved in that matchup. They were all barred from ringside. She didn't even trust them. That's why she called for the steel cage match, and Matt was able to get the belt back.
There's the well-needed tag from Anakin to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Anakin's been in this for quite a while, and now the fresher man will come in and take it with a springboard moonsault to Ed. Goes in for the cover on one half of the tag team champions, and a kick out at two. You saw Eddie there as a contingency plan just in case that shoulder wasn't going to come up off the mat.
Really good timing on that kick out, but now Obi-Wan going to go to work here on Ed. Big knee to the skull right there. Obi-Wan continuing to rain in those shots from above.
As we mentioned, that Kingdom Jewel going to be coming up here in the near future. Cover in here by Ed. And a kick out with a little assistance from Anakin.
Oh, jawbreaker.
Jawbreaker into the cover to pick up the victory and keep this momentum going for the family. My goodness, who can stop these guys?
These guys are an absolute tear right now. That was a quick victory. Oh, hang on a second.
That's Dylan Young and Kyle Matthews, the Thrill Seekers, obviously frustrated that they didn't get the job done this past Sunday night.
They were very frustrated. They were determined trying to get those tag team titles in their favor and did not, let's say, it's safe to say that they are not too pleased about the way things are going right now in the tag team division.
The war on 2 fronts may have become a war now on 3 or 4 fronts as the tag division continues to remain hot here in FWE.
Go back to the singles division next. Anthony McCreary going to be taking on Spider-Man after the break.
Nikki, I'm bored! I've been holding this cruiserweight title for a while now and had nobody to play with. I need a victim to torture. Please.
Well, Harley, your timing is perfect. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be determining a new challenger for you tonight via triple threat match, so you won't have long to wait.
Poor little lamb. I'll be ready for them. Thanks, sweetie.
That is one crazy mother.
Welcome you back here to FWA Saturday Night Smash as we get ready for Saturday night's #1 draft pick to be in action.
Making his way to the ring from Queens, New York, weighing in at 155 pounds, Spider-Man.
We saw Spider-Man his last time in action take down a storied rival of his in Craven. What we've seen out of the past 2 matchups that Spider-Man's been a part of, he is a very unique talent.
Absolutely. You know, the high flying, the quick maneuverability, it's been on full display with this guy. And, you know, you sort of see that thing about a lot of different people here in FWE. With Spider-Man, it really seems to be on full display. And there's definitely a reason why Nick Fury chose him at #1 overall in the draft.
Continue to build momentum here. You certainly have to wonder at what point, what type of potential title we could see Spider-Man fight for here on Saturday nights.
That, I think, is also a question you could ask with this man who's making his way down to the ring right now.
The Rockers from Richmond, Virginia, weighing in at 220 pounds, Anthony Mack.
Well, of course, Anthony McCreary thrilled to see his tag team partner Colt Eastwood holding the Universal Heavyweight Championship, but now with Cole kind of having his mind on other matters outside of the tag division, Anthony deciding, you know what, I'll try going the solo route myself and see what comes of it.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I think that's part of the reason why this matchup here tonight is happening, and I feel like that's a good move for Anthony. Kind of while your singles partner, or while your tag partner has the highest prize in the men's division on Saturdays, maybe take some time for yourself and see if you can't get some singles gold around your waist.
He's going to have to take on the high-flying Spider-Man. Be interesting to see these two. I think you couldn't necessarily pick 2 more polar opposites in the ring. Anthony more of that ground and pound, also plays a little bit of the submission game. Of course, Spider-Man, the high flight ability that we see on display right there.
He'll work his way up, and Spider-Man, again, that high flying offense, he's utilizing a lot of that top rope, and he brings Anthony down.
Now trying to keep Anthony away from that vertical base, working on the arm, actually wrenches on the arm there. He'll take the arm, shoulder right out of the socket. It's like Spider-Man's kind of got a target right now here. That upper extremity of McCreary is now perched on the second rope, and another Hurricane Rana going to take Anthony down. Not only does that disorient the opponent, you see people go for Hurricane Ranas all the time, but there is some impact, the top of the head to the canvas below.
Not the most pleasant landing of all time.
Anthony going to roll to the outside. Oh, was going to look for a little bit of a reprieve. Spider-Man not going to let up with the spear to the outside.
Speaking of unpleasant landings, and Spider-Man, I thought he was maybe going to go for some more offense off of that top rope, but just jumps to the side, though, and that allows Anthony to recover and send Spider-Man gut first into those steel steps.
One thing I just noticed right there, prior to him getting sent into the steps. Did you see how light he was on his feet when he landed on the floor there? I mean, this guy defies gravity.
He really does. And again, that high-flying offense, that's you have to figure that's going to come into play in some maybe potential future title matchups. That's why Nick Fury decided to pick him first.
Referee Ernest Wright beginning the 10 count here. Non-title match between these two, both just trying to find a little bit of momentum, which could be super important as we approach PLEs such as Kingdom Jewel. We've got Infinity War games on the horizon as well. And then, of course, we got our big ones. It's a ways away, but I mean, this is not too soon to start preparing for events like the Royal Brawl and, of course, Paramount.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those are certainly in the back of everybody's mind right now as we eventually draw closer and closer towards those PLEs. Oh, my goodness. I mean, even this next upcoming Sunday night at Springfield as well. You know, it's not necessarily a massive PLE. We kind of call it a glorified house show, but there are still some huge things that can happen at that show.
Certainly have. We've seen incredible match stipulations. We've seen rivalries come to a head or get settled. It's now Anthony with the Irish whip. Spider-Man into the corner. Straight right hand by the former tag team champion, and now follows it in with the clothesline.
Kick to the gut as he thinking powerbomb. Has him in position. Down in the center of the ring.
Goes into the cover, hooks the leg. Is this enough? No, a kick out at 1 after that high impact offense.
Anthony's not going to give Spider-Man a chance to breathe, though, as Spider-Man rolled to the outside of the ring, and Anthony was right there to meet him.
Now put Spider-Man back in between the ropes. Shot there to the leg. Now has Spider-Man up and down with the scoop slam. Don't see Anthony go up top very often. What's he thinking? Oh my!
The heat-seeking elbow had a lot of ground to cover, but it connected.
Maybe the tall stature of Anthony McCurry helping, being able to cover all that ground, is now a discus forearm. Drops Spider-Man down. Oh, and now looking for, it looks like a vice grip there on that right shoulder. That is a submission move, but it's not going to last very long. Good job by Spider-Man sweeping the leg to fight out. Now after the moonsault goes in for the cover on McCurry, who powers out.
Trying to keep the offense quickly going now that he has the match back in his control. It's going to take more than that to bring Anthony down. That was a nice DDT, though.
Consider Spider-Man so far here in his short FWE career, currently sitting at 1 win, 1 loss. Anthony McCurry has been in the FWE really since the beginning, so it would be very weird to call it as such, but this is a wily veteran versus a rookie in terms of the amount of matchups they've had here in FWE. This would be a blockbuster victory if Spider-Man could put Anthony away. Oh, what in the world?
I think he greatly miscalculated whatever he was going for there. It looked like some kind of a drop kick, and Anthony's going to make it pay.
Anthony, I think, scouted that and did not come out of the corner. Spider-Man coming up majorly short. Now Anthony with the momentum on his side. Oh, hits a slam on Spider-Man, and is he going up top again? Yes, he is.
Could be looking for maybe another elbow or some kind of other attack from the top. Big splash, doesn't connect. Spider-Man going to go into the cover.
Smart. That miscalculation by McCurry. Spider-Man went to capitalize on it, but Anthony able to kick out at 1.
Right into the head and the drop kick. Again, brings Anthony down. Spider-Man, maybe was thinking about some kind of a move from the corner to put this match away, and Anthony rolled to the outside.
Up in the top rope, but Anthony met him there. Brings him down from the top rope to the canvas below. Hooks the leg for the cover, and another kick out at 1. I don't think, I might be wrong, but I don't think we've seen a single 2 count in this matchup yet.
Maybe a couple, if any, but yeah, these two have really been savvy enough to try to get their shoulders up as quickly as they can. It can be a mental thing as well. You know, it can be pretty frustrating when you're not even able to get a 2 count this late in the matchup.
Snake eyes in the corner. McCurry now has Spider-Man maybe right where he wants him. Oh! Spider-Man playing a little possum. Oh, and the web slinger setting up. Scores it! That might be it. This is how Spider-Man was able to defeat Craven in his last match. And it will not quite yet be enough to put away McCreary.
You mentioned he looked like he was playing possum in the corner.
Oh
My. Anthony might have been playing possum there.
Massive clothesline completely turns Spider-Man inside out. Now, on the outside of the ring, Anthony going to follow Spider-Man there. Might be set up for that back body drop on the apron.
I mean, those are devastating enough as it is, and a knee to the head as well. But when you're this late in the matchup, getting your back dropped right under the ring apron is painful.
That's a Kimura lock he's got on Spider-Man, but that's on the outside of the ring. So if Spider-Man were to tap out, it wouldn't matter. The submission has to take place in between the ropes.
Well, it wouldn't matter whether or not he taps out, but what it does matter is that whole thing wore him down. Spider-Man's going to be really struggling here as Anthony gets right back to the ring.
Going to try to capitalize on that damage done on the outside. Is that enough to put Spider-Man away? No! Spider-Man out at 2.
Well, there's your 2 count.
Oh, big shot to the midsection. Scoop slam once again.
Punching that back.
Oh, boy. Anthony in the corner, went for the spear, but Spider-Man got the knee up. He had it scouted, goes for the cover, he's got his feet on the ropes. And the referee, I think, spotted that.
I don't know why you would consider putting your feet on the ropes like that. That's a rookie mistake. Spider-Man had this match won.
Now Anthony up and down with the suplex. And he's going to keep the hold, going to go for a second. He might go for the trifecta here. Hits all 3 suplexes. And now floats into the cover here, does not hook the leg on McCreary, and McCreary powers out at 2.
Frustration's got to be boiling over for Spider-Man at this point.
Win, lose, or draw, this has been quite the matchup between these 2 combatants, as Spider-Man might be looking for that final death blow. Double axe handle from the second rope.
I would argue definitely do not take either of these names out of consideration for any possible singles titles going forward. Even if you lose this matchup, they both heck of a show. My goodness.
Into the DDT. I thought he was just going for a simple moonsault crossbody, but was able to transition it into a DDT. And now, might be waiting for Anthony to get to his feet, maybe a little too far away right now. Anthony's positioning in the ring.
Matchup is deep in the extra innings. You have to feel like this next big move is going to be all it takes.
Up and down with another DDT. Oh, look at this. Oh! I think he was going for like a modified Pele kick, springboarded off the ropes, and again a miscalculation.
Still has the matchup in his control, though. What a match this has been.
Incredible matchup between these 2. As you mentioned, we are into the extra innings here. It's just going to take that one major shot. This might be it right there. The corkscrew moonsault. And he doesn't go for the cover, though. Oh!
I think Anthony just might have barely rolled out of the way there.
Just barely out of harm's way.
Oh, boy.
Kick Spider-Man off. He's going to go for the cover here. I don't think that's going to be enough, no. Out at 2 by Spider-Man, and again the action rolls to the outside.
Again, you notice Spider-Man rolls to the outside, and Anthony meets him right there immediately, rolls to the outside with him, and keeps the offense going. Big spinning fist there.
Seems like the last couple of times they've ventured to the outside of the ring, Anthony has been able to turn that in his favor. Another spinning discus forearm drops Spider-Man down again.
Display of strength here. Military press on the outside of the ring drops Spider-Man right into that minimally padded floor there.
That midsection has taken a lot of punishment. You go all the way back to the beginning of this matchup when he was driven into the steel steps, and a lot of these miscalculations with moonsaults and everything is just going to add to that, as now Anthony brings him up and down again. Another major impact to that midsection with the slam.
Anthony, again, lot of ground to cover here as he goes up to the top rope.
Thought better of it. Clothesline here on Spider-Man. Is this enough to put him away after what's been a very lengthy match? Oh. No, it's going to keep going. And there you see the frustration on McCurry's face.
I was going to say.
He knows just as much as everybody else how long this matchup is gone.
I was going to say, based on that reaction, you would have thought that all that punishment on the outside might have been enough to put Spider-Man away, but he is still up and fighting.
Big back elbow. Now lays in the shots to the upper back. Anthony back to the corner. I wondered if he might be thinking for a second spear here. He missed the first one, and this time gets caught again. Maybe looking for the web slinger a second time.
Oh!
Spider-Man hits the web slinger. Cover in on McCurry to pick up his second win. How?
Oh!
How did McCurry kick out?
How is this matchup still going? These two have put on a heck of a show for us tonight.
Well, it's a good thing Spider-Man's wearing a mask. Otherwise, I think we'd see the frustration on his face. Two web slingers, and he's not been able to put McCurry away. Oh, went for some type of a move through the ropes. McCurry was able to dodge it.
That might have been Spider-Man's last chance. Anthony, you can tell he's feeling the momentum right now. This also might be Anthony's last chance. If he can't pin Spider-Man, I guess I should say, with this type of move, this kind of offense, you never know how this is going to end.
Another big slam, elbow drop from the top rope. Is this going to be enough to put Spider-Man away? It's been back and forth. McCurry finally gets the job done, but what an effort both men had to put in.
That was a war.
Here is your winner, Anthony.
Well, Anthony McCurry trying his fair at singles action, and I think we could say so far a resounding success. What a fight he was in here tonight with Saturday night's #1 draft pick.
What a battle for sure, and what in the world is going on here?
Welcome to Kingdom Jewel, where the broken become brave. Every scar is a shining proof. Every doubt gets thrown away. When the bell hits 3 and the night turns cruel, we still stand in the center. We still shine. Kingdom Jewel.
We welcome you back here to Saturday Night Smash as the Women's Universal Champion gets ready to make her way down here to ringside. We saw Shuri on the second night of the FWE draft successfully defend in a title rematch that belt against Moana. Now Shuri certainly has to be wondering with this new roster of women, if you will, who her potential new #1 contender could be here on Saturday nights.
Yeah, big opportunity here for Shuri here. Both of the world champions now on Saturdays are going to make appearances here tonight, and we'll see what Shuri has to say.
FWE, your champion, has arrived. For too long, this division has searched for a champion that could carry it into the future. Not since Elizabeth Swan have we had what could be clearly called a dominant champion in the women's division. And now, I hope to be one of those women. This championship here represents a lot of things. It represents dominance. It represents excellence. It represents evolution. I've heard that word bandied around quite a bit lately. But it also represents the beginning of a reign that will be remembered as the most dominant era of FWE history. Now, every great reign needs its first statement. Every champion needs their first conquest. And that conquest for me will be Jasmine at Kingdom Jewel. Now, Jasmine, I wish you the best of luck. I congratulate you on winning your Iron Queen Championship. But understand that there is more than gold on the line at Kingdom Jewel. While our championships may not hang in the balance, the pride in representing our brands does. Ultimate bragging rights. The opportunity to walk amongst your fellow wrestlers in the back and have them see you and know that if they ever challenge you for your belt, you will be a truly formidable force. At Kingdom Jewel, Jasmine, I don't defend this championship, but I do represent Saturday Night Showdown. I represent Wakanda. And I represent the future of this division. That's all the motivation that I need. So I hope that you bring the best you possibly can, Jasmine, because I want to prove to everyone that this is and will be for a long time the reign of Shuri.
Oh, hold on just a minute. There may be somebody else to worry about aside from Jasmine.
Some bold words indeed from Shuri, but Susan Storm is certainly not somebody who appears to want to be overlooked in this title picture.
Words, 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 and nothing to back them up. Look, champ, you want to talk about dominance? Let me run a number by you. 136. That's how many days I held the Women's Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship, the first woman to ever hold that title. I had the days to back up everything that I said. You're just beginning your reign, and I find it interesting that you claim that your reign will be lengthy when you have a woman like me here on this brand more than ready to take the title off of your shoulders. I feel that my resume speaks for itself. I feel that words are unnecessary. I don't need to tell you why I have the resume to be the #1 contender. So I would say that the easiest thing for you to do would be to leave the ring, go backstage, and tell Nick Fury that I should be the #1 contender for your championship. That'd be the easy thing to do. Or you could opt for me to do things the hard way. And if that's the case, then I wish you the best of luck in your match at Kingdom Jewel, because you're going to have one eye on Jasmine and one eye in the back of your head. Good luck, champ.
Well, I think it's kind of difficult to overlook. That sounds a bit like a threat.
It certainly did. Some fighting words from Susan Storm, and coming up after the break, we're going to have Hades, of all people, I guess, taking on Levi McIntyre.
Well, we welcome you back here to Saturday Night Smash as we get ready for more. Well, hold on just a second here. I was about to say we're getting ready for one-on-one action, but
This was supposed to be our main event, was it not?
yeah.
Making her way to the ring from London, England,
just forgive us for a moment here, folks, to explain the confusion. As we advertised, we were expecting to have a one-on-one matchup between Thursday Night Throwdown's Hades and Saturday Night Smash's Levi McIntyre, but it looks like the itinerary has obviously been changed, as the triple threat match that Nick Fury announced earlier tonight for #1 contention for the Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship, I guess, is taking place right now.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure what's going to be going on with that. We're going to have to maybe get some eyes backstage to find out exactly what's going on here.
Cruella DeVille, a former Women's Universal Champion, now trying to get herself into #1 contendership for the Cruiserweight title. And speaking about a woman that's formerly held that Universal Championship, saw Elastigirl in quite the rivalry with Poison Ivy back prior to the brand expansion. Of course, we know that Harley Quinn, in her words, she's bored. She wants a victim to play with her title on the line. So Nick Fury announcing tonight a triple threat match to determine a future #1 contender. So far, two pretty formidable forces in two women that have been to the top of the women's division.
Absolutely, but we're going to have to learn how chaotic they might be willing to get here. I mean, with this matchup being under triple threat rules, that means no countouts, no DQs, can bring in any kind of weapon into the matchup, and other people might have a thing to say about it as well, so have to keep eyes in the back of your head for this one.
And representing the Islanders from the Isle of Samoa, the Sailor Montana.
Well, the surprises just keep on coming. Moana from Thursday nights now going to be in this #1 contendership match, and we're just a few nights removed from when she came up short of challenging Jasmine for the Iron Queen Championship.
This is certainly an interesting one, but that's kind of how the surprises tend to work with these floating titles that can get defended across both brands here. So Moana could be looking for a little bit of a coup of sorts, trying to bring that Women's Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship from Saturdays over to Thursdays.
It's an excellent point, as we've documented here ever since the brand expansion. The tag team championships and the respective cruiserweight championships are defended against members of both the Thursday and the Saturday night rosters. So right now, 2/3 of this field would be represented by Saturday nights. Moana, the lone representative on Thursday nights, looking for #1 contendership for Harley Quinn's Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship.
Here we go.
Bell rings, of course, triple threat rules, no countouts, no disqualifications, anything goes. First pinfall, first submission will win this matchup. And we've got actually our commissioner, Nick Fury, coming out here. He's just grabbed a headset. Commissioner, welcome. What brings you here?
Excuse me, gentlemen. I apologize for the unannounced appearance and sudden change to tonight's schedule. But I figured that you two might want to be aware that we have a problem unfolding right now with a certain disciple of darkness. As you know, Hades was scheduled to face Levi McIntyre. But our security team just found Levi nearly unconscious backstage, and he has not been medically cleared to compete tonight. So I have no choice but to call the match off.
Wait. Are you saying that Hades went and took out Levi before they could even settle it in the ring?
Well, he would certainly seem to be the type of guy to do so. But we're still reviewing the security footage, so we cannot confirm anything at this time.
Okay, you know what? I'm stepping in. Put the match back on and I'll take Levi's place. I don't know if you happen to hear what went down between me and Nick Gunther this past week, but it's pretty clear that the Disciples of Darkness have a problem with me, and now one of my friends just got taken out in the back with one of those guys in the building when this isn't even their show. I'm not going to handle this problem sitting on the sidelines.
Now, hold on just a second there, Jack. The last time you took on one of those giants in the ring, you got put through the top of it. The Hell in a Cell cage, and it nearly ended your career. I can't afford you getting put on the shelf by one of these guys again, especially with a bunch of dangerous, reckless men like Nick and Facilier on his side.
I appreciate your concern, Mr. Fury, but I can handle myself. Besides, I'm ready to remind the world why these fine people here in WWE used to call me a giant killer. And besides, you know damn well that I'm not going to back down from a challenge like this.
Very well. If you think you can take care of this, then it's official. Jack Mitchell versus Hades in our main event tonight.
Well, Commissioner, we appreciate you letting us know
Be
about
careful
this.
around that mother.
Nick Fury with some parting words there from my broadcast colleague there. I guess now the explanation of why we have this match taking place here and now pretty clear. I'm assuming, we're assuming, again, as Nick Fury said, there's nothing official, but it's sounding like Hades with a pre-match attack here on what was supposed to be his opponent tonight, Levi McIntyre, and now looks like you're going to be in the main event.
Looks like, it's like I was telling Nick just now, it feels like Hades just wanted to take care of business before they even got inside the ring, which is kind of bogus, so I guess we're going to have to look into it a little bit and see who might have taken down Levi.
Cover here by Moana on Elastigirl. All this going on is these three women have been going absolutely to town on each other, all in the hopes of being the #1 contender for the Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship. It's interesting too because you kind of consider the ramifications here tonight leading to what's now going to be our main event. It's kind of seemed like this rivalry between you, Nick Gunther, now involving the Disciples of Darkness. It seems like it's now bled over into Saturday nights as well.
Yeah, this is certainly, something that we're going to have to keep our eyes on going forward, because me in particular, is Moana with a stunner there from the middle rope.
Yes, indeed. Hit the stunner, and Cruella de Vil going to break that up. Now cover here by Cruella. And Moana going to get out before a count of 1.
You were trying to say that this thing with the Disciples of Darkness, it's really clear that they want power, but, at the same time, they're taking satisfaction out of me losing matches and losing that power. So I'm, like I said, not going to solve that problem just by sitting on the sidelines. So now with my best friends getting attacked, if this is what it's going to take, then so be it.
It was this past Thursday night that we saw Dr. Vasilier, the now new Wayfinder Cruiser Champion, revealed as the newest member of the Disciples of Darkness, making that faction even more dangerous. And to your point as well, we ended up seeing Nick Gunther make an appearance on the stage at Fantasia after Vasilier beat you for that Cruiserweight Championship, flatlined by Cruella, and Elastigirl kicks out.
I'm sure at some point in the future, me and Vasilier might see each other again, but never know with Hades. Hades, obviously, Nick Gunther very well could show up and be in his corner for that matchup as well.
Went for the Beyond the Reef, but Cruella countered it. I don't think I've ever seen anyone counter that move. And now Elastigirl with the shot to the head via the kendo stick, and Moana breaks it up.
Man, the irony in that as well, because you think about what happened between those two that led to Moana ultimately claiming the Universal Championship.
That's a great point. That was back during Open Fight Night when Cruella de Vil hit the low blow on then champion Poison Ivy. Moana with the power-up briefcase came down, cashed in, and walked out with the title.
Cover here. We're all trying to steal this one. Kick out.
Boy, I'm just thinking to myself here, if Cruella was able to win this match, can you imagine? Probably crazier than a box of cats if you have Harley Quinn and Cruella de Vil going at each other.
Yeah, that might be a little bit insane. Elastigirl fighting out of this maybe possible powerbomb attempt from Moana. Face buster with the knees. Cover here by Elastigirl.
Is this enough? It was the perfect scenario. Moana nowhere to be found. Elastigirl had Cruella all to herself, but Cruella enough wherewithal to kick out before the ref's hand came down for 3. Again, if you're just joining us, folks, this was scheduled to be our main event, but an attack backstage. The assumption is Hades attacking Levi McIntyre prior to what was supposed to be their matchup here tonight, is Moana with a roll-up cover here on Elastigirl, and Elastigirl with a kick out at 2. So now, broadcast colleague Jack Mitchell is stepping into Levi McIntyre's place. He and Hades are going to be our main event coming up here after this matchup.
Definitely don't overlook this matchup, though. This is for #1 contendership for the Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship on the women's side.
Quinn winning that belt from Black Widow in a submission match as the cover here by Moana, looking for #1 contendership, and she gets it!
Couldn't quite tell. I think that DDT might have hit the chair on the way down. Either way, she gets the pin, and Moana's the new #1 contender.
It was about 48 hours ago she missed out on claiming the Iron Queen Championship, now claims #1 contendership for the Cozy Cone Cruiserweight title. And Harley Quinn, as she's called any of the winners, poor little lamb, now will have her sights set on Moana, as at some point those two will cross paths. But up next, folks, he wasn't exactly dressed to wrestle tonight, but he's getting in the ring. Jack Mitchell, he gets ready to take on Hades in our main event here tonight as the Disciples of Darkness and Jack continue the rivalry.
Welcome to Kingdom Jewel, where the broken become brave. Every scar is a shining proof. Every doubt gets thrown away. When the bell hits 3 and the night turns cruel, we still stand in the center. We still shine. Kingdom Jewel. Kingdom Jewel. Kingdom Jewel.
Well, we welcome you back here to Saturday Night Smash. As I sit here alone at the commentary table, a lot of ad-libbing here at the latter portion of this show, getting ready for tonight's main event.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring, representing the Disciples of Darkness from the pits of hell, weighing in at 220 pounds, the Warden of Death.
Gotta be honest, I'm a little surprised to see Hades making his way out here alone and not flanked by either Nick Gunther or Dr. Facilier, or maybe even both of them, as he gets ready to make his way down to the ring here for one-on-one action. Again, if you're just joining us, Hades was supposed to be in action a little bit earlier on this evening to take on Levi McIntyre in one-on-one action. Levi McIntyre was found by security backstage, has not been medically cleared to wrestle here tonight. According to Commissioner Nick Fury, there is no confirmation as to whether Hades was the perpetrator of the attack or not, but regardless of whether he was trying to bypass McIntyre, he now will have his hands full with Jack Mitchell, who certainly has a score to settle with pretty much the entirety of the Disciples of Darkness. This going all the way back to what transpired at Fantasia.
And his opponent from Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 200 pounds, the Jack Mitchell.
You know what? Let's take it back a little further than before Fantasia. Jack Mitchell was enjoying his second reign with the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship and was defending, well, not defending, but he was looking for a new #1 contender week after week with open challenges. We would eventually see a returning Dr. Facilier pick up a victory over Jack, making him #1 contender at Fantasia. It all looked like it was above board. Facilier would pick up the victory at Fantasia and claim the title. But then an appearance by Nick Gunther out on the staging area, issuing an applause to which it seemed like Facilier was completely unaware of what was going on. We would find out, though, this past Thursday night that it was all part of the plan Facilier has been inducted into the Disciples of Darkness, and it looks like Nick Gunther and his faction have set their sights on the misfortunes of Jack Mitchell, targeting one of his friends here tonight in Levi McIntyre. It's looking like this rivalry is starting to seep across both the Thursday Night Throwdown and the Saturday Night Smash brands. And we will certainly, if we are able to, before we go off the air here tonight, try and get you some type of an update on Levi McIntyre. Again, not medically cleared to compete here tonight. So Mitchell stepping in his place, getting ready to take on a man who had a formidable reign with the Intercontinental Championship, the muscle of the Disciples of Darkness. Jack with a forearm, seemingly nothing to Hades, but that springboard cutter certainly got him. Now going for another one, but Hades too far away. And again, Hades, I mean, it kind of seems like if indeed he was the one that attacked Levi McIntyre, it kind of seems like he had no thoughts of competing tonight. Obviously, Jack having to kind of call an audible here to fill in for Levi McIntyre, so I'm not exactly sure of the preparedness of either of these two individuals. Hades just raining in the right hands to the forehead of Mitchell. Now wrenching on the neck. Referee Ernest Wright, if I were him, I would keep my head on a swivel here. Yes, we didn't see them make their way out here to ringside with Hades, but gotta think Nick Gunther, Dr. Facilier, gotta be looming backstage. We could still see them before the night is over, as Hades looked like he was toying right there with the possibility of trying to hit a choke slam, and again, a miscalculation there by Mitchell. Went for that drop kick off the middle rope, but Hades too far away to connect. Went for, I think he was going to go for a vice grip there. Mitchell sweeps the leg, gets out of it. Now he'll rein in the right hands. Hades trying to cover up, but I believe quite a number of those fists landed to the side of his head. And Mitchell with the mount again, going to lay into the left side. Oh, and a big knee right up onto the jaw. Falls into the cover, hooks the leg. Is that enough? No, a kick out at one by Hades. A shot down low. That time he hit the cutter, but I think the referee got caught in that as well. I believe as Hades came down via the cutter, I believe he came down on the upper back of Ernest Wright. Ernest Wright now back up to his feet. Ernest Wright's kind of been through the ringer here these last couple of months as the Superman punch scores for Mitchell, and he is firmly in control of this matchup. Now looking to wrench in. An arm lock here. A wrist lock on Hades. Maybe trying to tighten up those upper bicep muscles to take away the mobility for that potential choke slam. Even the tombstone pile driver. But the lower extremities are working as a big boot brings Mitchell down. Oh, and another one. This time gonna bring Mitchell right out in front of the announce table. Shot down low, Mitchell in a bad spot here, up in the powerbomb position! And into the apron, then swung like a baseball bat into the apron as well. And then a shot right to the gut. That massive foot of Hades buried into the abdomen. Referee at a count of 3. Hades will deposit Jack back in between the ropes. Again, not a matchup that was scheduled on the card. Nick Fury having to call an audible here tonight. Got a little assistance from Jack here at the commentary table saying, hey, I want to step in. I want to be the substitute for Levi McIntyre, and might be regretting that decision right now as the boot of Hades buried deep into his throat. Massive Irish whip into the corner. Oh, and Hades now has Mitchell perched up on that top rope. Oh, Not sure what Hades was thinking, but Mitchell will fight out of it. Oh, he went for the cutter. I don't think he got all of it, but he got enough to stun Hades. Oh, and now look at this. Oh, wait a minute. Is that the Hell's Gates? That's a submission move that Hades uses, trying to use Hades' own submission against him, and Hades will fight out of it. Oh, and I think that just ticked him off. A lot of venom behind that boot. Mitchell fights off though. And now begins the offense once again, trying to keep Hades down. MMA type shots right there to the midsection, debilitating shots. Irish whipped off the ropes, clothesline, spinning forearm. Gonna drop Hades down, and now Mitchell goes up top. Maybe looking for that kill shot on Hades, hits the kick from the top. A lot of impact behind that. Is that enough to put Hades away? And Hades will bench press Power out at 1. Shot low, bow down! And no, here you go. There's no surprise when it comes to the Disciples of Darkness. Nick Gunther coming out here, playing distraction, has the attention of Mitchell, and now Hades from behind. Hades going for the roll-up. Ernest Wright didn't notice it, and that's going to be enough time for Mitchell to kick out. But you had to know the underhand tactics of the Disciples of Darkness were going to come into play. And now Hades looking maybe to set up for that devastating choke slam. That's got to be it. Cover is in on Mitchell. Oh, and Jack gets the shoulder up at 2. Hades can't believe it. This crowd here in Albany, New York cannot believe it. Everyone thought that this matchup was done and dusted with the interference of Nick Gunther, albeit not physical. Mitchell slides out the back door. Side Russian leg sweep. Now going for the cover here on Hades. Hooks the leg, and another kick out at 1. This mere moments after Mitchell suffered that choke slam. Now does the spear through the second rope. No attempt for a cover as of yet, as Mitchell goes back up top. He'll hit the splash. Still not going for the cover. What is Mitchell thinking here? First the spear, then the splash. Now off the ropes. Big boot drops Hades down again. Don't toy with him, Jack. Put him away. Going for a second spear through the ropes. And again, not going for the cover. Oh, here we go. Poised in the corner. Oh, and it'll hit the Destroyer. I believe that impact may have busted open Hades. Mitchell not done dishing out the punishment. Top rope. Oh, into a DDT. That's similar to what we saw Spider-Man hit earlier on tonight. Jack might have been taking notes. Now a snap takedown. Mitchell has hit move after move after move, but he has not gone for a cover. Mitchell is hell-bent on dishing out punishment. Oh, went for a third spear through the ropes, and this time Hades had it scouted. Did he leave open the door for Hades to capitalize? Now in the sidewalk slam position. And Hades off the ropes, hits the leg drop right across the throat. Mitchell may have had Hades put away quite a number of times. Did he let potentially the rage he has for Nick Gunther and the Disciples of Darkness cloud his judgment, but now fights out of whatever Hades was going for there in the top rope. Superman punch in the corner. Hades misses the clothesline. Spear! Spear from out of nowhere! Now into the cover. Is that enough? And Mitchell picks up the victory. Some vindication for his friend Levi.
Here is your
And maybe some vindication against the Disciples of Darkness, who right on cue have hit the ring. 3-on-1. The beatdown begins on Mitchell. Just moments after he picked up an incredible victory against Hades. It looks like this rivalry between Gunther and the Disciples of Darkness and Jack Mitchell is far from over. Thank you for joining us here tonight on Saturday Night Smash.